Hello, good evening, and welcome to our front. Tonight, it's a very sad day. Former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. Arthur's actual funeral activities started. He's been laid in state, many far past the great man in all of his kind, and we've seen so many different reports talking about what seems to be a very wonderful person by all standards and qualifications. But we are not losing sight and focus of the double track, which is causing a lot of tracking problems for not only the teachers and the administrator for education in this country, but also for parents and the kids who are likely to be beneficiaries in this case. Today, we put a lid on that, give a better appreciation of this system, and query where is the money coming from with the people who are put in charge of this particular project. We'll soon be joined by the leadership of the GES on this particular matter pretty soon. But first, Parliament is currently boiling with the minority complaining about the renewed, revised, or if you want to call it, updated Ameri deal. You sure know that in 2015, there was a lot of brouhaha around during the peak of the energy crisis. Cabinet approved some $510 million deal with Ameri and build, own, operate and transfer to solve the energy crisis. Many say this was a ripoff after a committee established that over 150 million US dollars was not supposed to be part of this deal. Well, a committee in Parliament worked on it. They brought back a report that the ministry is looking at, and the ministry forwarded to the People's Parliament today. The interesting part is that the minority is claiming that this does not reflect the interest of the Ghanaian people. Pretty soon, we shall be going to the phone lines. Of course, they believe it's a very terrible deal on the table, and that should not be considered. Deputy Energy Minister at the time all of this deal was happening is John Jinapo, and he'll be joining us pretty soon on this conversation. And I understand he is on the line now. Honorable, you're welcome to our front.
Thank you very much.
First, exactly what's the problem with the government's call of an updated, renewed, improved Ameri deal?
Well, thank you. First of all, let me say that it is within the right of government to renegotiate any contract with any existing party. And so if government chooses to renegotiate a contract with Ameri and both parties agree to that, it is within their right to do so, because contractual agreements can be reviewed. But you review a contract to improve the terms of the contract for government, not to the detriment of the ordinary people. This agreement is the worst agreement I have ever seen as far as power purchase agreements are concerned.
Why so?
Worse than the existing one.
Why so?
Let me give you an example. What government says is that it is reducing the tariff from the existing 14 to 11. And so it claims that it is making some savings. What this government is failing to realize is that the Ameri contract and the PPA, as far as the capacity charge is concerned, is in two phases. The first 5 years is about 14. After the first 5 years, the contract price in terms of the capacity charge drops to about 10.4, which is about a 40% reduction. And so you cannot use the first 5 years to do your analysis. Now, what they have done is that you are going to pay $11 as capacity charge for 15 years. When in actual fact, after 5 years, you'll be paying about 10. And so what this government is doing is increasing the cost, causing financial loss, and increasing the cost of the plant. That's 2 years, my brother, 2 years to own this plant. It becomes our property forever. You have come and you are extending it for 15 good years. Let me give you a simple analysis so that you appreciate what I'm talking about. I have a contract with you. I'm paying you $100,000 every year for the next 5 years. That I'm paying you $500 in 5 years' time. Then you come and say that no, reduce it by 10% to $90,000. But I will pay you $90,000 for 15 years. Which one is better? Do you prefer to pay $100,000 for 5 years, or you prefer to pay $90,000 for 15 good years? What kind of voodoo bogus economics is this?
Is it your understanding?
I'm not surprised.
But government claims, honorable government claims that this particular deal will save us some $405 million US dollars on the new one, something they believe you couldn't do.
That is false. I'm saying that they are using only the 5-year tariff of 14. What they have failed to do is to look at the next 10 years in the existing contract, what we negotiated, which would drop the price from 14 to 10. There are two components of the contract. In the 15 years, you pay 14 for 5 years, and you pay 10 for the next 10 years. What this government is come to do is that we will pay 11 for 15 years, which is better.
Okay, let me be clear. Is it also the same, what do you call it, deal and arrangement that Parliament devoted a committee to, that you abandoned this committee? Many say that if you had agreed to stay on the committee, you could have rectified this problem.
Rather, the majority failed to listen to what. Initially, they told us that this deal is fraudulent. Anything that is shrouded in fraud, do you go negotiating it? Something you claim is fraudulent, it's fraudulent. It means that you cannot hold it. They have now turned back from being fraudulent to now negotiating with a party you claim is a fraudulent party. If a marriage is fraudulent, if a marriage perpetuated fraud, why do you go and sit with a fraudulent party and then negotiate and even agree to pay them money? It's in the agreement. They have agreed to pay them money. But, you know, we are waiting for them tomorrow. Okay. I do not want to dislodge all my arsenals today. They will meet us tomorrow and will prove to them that they are either suffering from incompetence, mismanagement, or total lack of understanding of this contract.
Are you demanding
a toxic mix of the three?
Are you demanding a withdrawal of the current status of this particular amendment?
We are demanding that they go and renegotiate a good deal for the people of Ghana.
I see.
This is the worst deal I have ever seen within the power sector.
So,
and I'm surprised that somebody can go and negotiate such a bad deal.
It's interesting they say you negotiated a bad deal. You also say they negotiated an even worse deal that is in the history of this republic.
Okay, take care.
At what point in time?
That's why I'm giving you the figures. That under the existing arrangement, we have only 2 years. In the next 2 years, we'll own it. It then becomes that some cost is taken care of. And so we can even allocate it to Valco or industry at a very low price. What the MPP has gone to do is to seek a reduction of 19%. I've done the calculation. And they're going to pay this money for 15 years.
Honorable.
The next 15 years. What kind of economics is this?
We sure should be keeping up on this particular conversation, but now, thank you so much for joining us on this one. We sure should be following up keenly how you're able to get them to reverse the deal put before Parliament. As we're speaking right now, you just joining me was the Minister, Deputy then in charge of power previously, John Jinapor, who is in the minority, who is a member of the Mines and Energy Committee, who is questioning the moves by government to review the current Ameri deal. Ameri is a power plant that had some trouble coming in 2015 to fix the then crisis on the energy front. The government is of the opinion that we are making some $405 million on the new arrangement. In fact, the minority heavily opposes this new arrangement. They think is the worst. Government first described the existing arrangement as also very bad because we could have gained some $150 million if we had done proper arrangement. At the point in time, it was also described as fraudulent. And so we come around the circle and it looks like we're going to have a new deal with Ameri, but minorities opposing this particular arrangement. I told you we are doing double track today. Now, we'll leave Parliament pretty soon and come back in studio here. Talk about what's perhaps the biggest issue in the Republic of Ghana, bothering the minds of many parents, teachers, and also the people who are even supposed to roll it out. That is the new format for senior high school education in the Republic of Ghana. First, you get a semester, 2 semesters, and not 3 terms. Second, you get to go in a double track, first year and a second tier of school. This, according to government, is to ensure that the over 180,000 who would have been home come September would also get education at the senior high school level. All of these matters will be explored with a man who's headed the GES before and currently chairs the GES Council. Mr. Suwa, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, you're a powerful man, but we will look into the issues later on as we go in there. Maybe I'll start conversations with you on this particular matter. 2 key issues have come up, are very prominent and requiring some attention quickly. Now, the NAT General Secretary is saying that the promise you've given them is that they're going to get more money because they're going to deploy them to teach their Tier 2 students too. Contrary to the claim that we are going to have almost 9,000 newly trained or perhaps recruited teachers coming on board. Exactly what's the facts in this case?
I don't remember promising anybody that we're going to give them more money. What we've said is that we're going to have 2 tracks. So a teacher who is on track 1 will remain on track 1. A teacher who is on track 2 will remain on track 2. So when they go on holidays, the teacher is also on holidays for that long period. So this does not amount to giving anybody extra money. So I'm surprised somebody is, or the union is making that allegation.
You've not heard him, David the Champon?
We did not. We
The General
haven't.
Secretary of
There's
NAT.
nowhere have we actually indicated that we're going to give more money. Rather, we said
But have you been negotiating with them?
Teachers are going to have more holidays.
Really?
Yes.
What is it?
If you are going on holidays for a whole semester,
Yeah.
what does it mean?
That's a long period.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
but a teacher.
Have you been engaging them?
Yes, we've met the.
Have you been
union.
engaging them
We have met the
to
unions.
put in more hours?
Yeah. We are not. You see, this is the issue.
Yes.
We are not putting. Okay, if we are
I'm
putting.
talking about these teachers.
If we are putting in more hours, why are we giving them more holidays? And in Ghana, and I keep insisting that in Ghana, the working hours for everybody by law is from 8 to 5.
Yeah,
And we haven't gone beyond that.
I see.
So if anybody is claiming we are asking them to do more hours, it is never true.
Really?
It is
No negotiations like that?
No. There's no paper anywhere. There's no paper. Anybody can come with that paper and show it to you. If not me, show it to you. Where it is stated that teachers or any other category of workers, outside the laws of this country, which states that the working hours is from 8 to 5. If anybody can show that, please.
Okay, now
Let
me understand this.
Yeah.
So how is it possible that the General Secretary of NAT, who is fairly engaged, and it says that virtually every meeting that you've had with the teachers has been involved, saying that you are negotiating with them so that they can be paid more, so that they can put in more hours?
As I said, well, maybe it is not all the, the meetings that I've sat through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can admit that this is happening on your blind side, possibly.
I wouldn't say it's happening on the blind side. I don't think anybody will go and sit on table and say that we are negotiating. When we are giving, okay, if we are to stick to the normal holidays, and now we are giving you a long semester holidays.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
Yeah, but what they're saying is that, and this point is what I want clarified. It says currently you are talking to them about engaging more. Let's say if they taught in the mainstream tier 1, they should come back and teach in tier 2 too.
No.
So that
no. As for that, I can be very emphatic on that.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to do. How can you engage somebody to teach from September up to June without break? Because what we are saying is that.
But does not depend on their strength. If they are okay with it and give them more money.
No.
They won't accept it?
That's why we are, recruiting 8,000 more teachers. So that we'll be able to streamline teachers who will be on track 1 and teachers who will be on track 2. So I'm not sure we have even discussed that if anybody wants to continue teaching, because we know it is not good for your health. We won't do that.
One more thing.
Nobody will do that.
You are changing the kind number of hours that a teacher has to stay in the classroom with the
The
students.
kind number of hours is within the working hours. Okay. So we haven't changed anything.
From 8 to 2 p.m. was the previous one.
You see, as I said, there is no paper anywhere. The history of that is this. In 1987, when we embarked on the 1987 reforms, when we have had a lot of support from many developing countries, it was agreed that if we are able to implement that 1987 education reforms, Ghana will be a better place to live in, because education, the standard of education will go up. And therefore, the advice to teachers was that at the end of the talking period, if you want to go to the library to do more research, to improve upon your lesson notes, you can ask permission from your head.
I see.
It didn't say we close. Ask permission from your head and go to the library and do more research and improve on your lesson notes. And teachers took it as, one of those things, as usual with some of us in Ghana, anything is reduced to fanfare, and therefore people were leaving.
What you're saying is that the period of 8 to 2 is not coded anywhere in the teachers.
As I said, if anybody can bring a document to you, maybe I would.
So teaching hours is not really 8 to 2.
No.
So
because you see,
by your extension is from
by
7:30.
our profession,
it's from 7:30 to 3:30.
By our profession,
Yes.
all over the world, as a teacher. In fact, if the school closes, even at 5, you need to stay and make sure that every child is taken away from the school. But
Before the teacher goes home.
Exactly, because if the parents come and
is it in their code of conduct or code of office?
I'm saying
their guidelines for
as
operation.
part of our profession, for any teacher all over the world, you need to make sure children leave the school.
Those are aspirations, really.
But you see, you have taken it upon yourself to take care of people's children.
Yeah.
And why do you leave them when their parents have not collected them? But you see, these things are not part of.
They are not codified.
Exactly. So I wouldn't fault anybody for not staying.
But they are saying that if you are going to keep me from coming at instead of 8 o'clock, 7:30, and stay till 3:30, you need to pay me more.
What is the hours that has been? Because the working hours is 8 hours.
Yes.
So if we do the calculation, is it more than 8 hours?
Is it more than 8 hours?
So why are we arguing over this? Why are we arguing over this?
They have told you that, right? That they will need more money for that.
Nobody has to. Well, I don't know. I haven't sat in any meeting where anybody has claimed that because of that they're going to take more. Actually, what I know is that the new working hours for teachers will be from 8 to 4.
8 to 4?
8 to 4. Not 7:30.
Sorry, the statement, the document you've been sharing from the Ministry of Education.
The document we've been sharing are just a draft, and that was subject to. Yes, because I know the final document the minister will put before the whole nation on the 7th.
On 7th of August.
So we are still working on some of these.
Okay, so all of the elements of this double track system has not been finalized yet.
Oh, it's more or less final, but you see, there are certain nitty-gritties that we need to make sure it's going to be right.
Okay, so now, let me stay with this timing and the number of hours matter a little bit further.
Yeah.
Those who are complaining that you're going to overstretch the student, and this is a complaint, for example, coming from Professor Sichupe Anku, and mindful, I mean, I know you are a wonderful educationist, but you can't dispute his competence too.
No, I will not challenge anybody, but I will say what I know.
Yes.
Now, if university students sometimes go for lectures up to 9 o'clock in the night, are you saying you are stretching the students or you are stretching the lecturers?
But these are senior high school students.
How, you see,
they are
senior high school,
who are in senior high school.
Please, let us examine the situation in senior high schools.
Yes.
Apart from the 4 core subjects, which are not taught every day, all students have a choice of electives, which are also not taught every day.
Okay.
So if people are going to say that we are going to stretch the student from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it's looking like every student is going to sit on his or her chair from 8 o'clock because they are going to teach all the 8 subjects or so that the student has opted to do. This is not true.
Okay, let me be clear. What you're saying is that
this is not true.
No student will sit from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
How can it happen in the secondary school where they have choices, 4 good choices, apart from the 4 core areas,
not any
which
day.
all of them will sit in, and which doesn't happen every day? Okay. Because I am not sure any timetable will have English, Math, Science, Social Studies every day, plus your 4 electives. And the 4 electives are also done as and when it appears on the timetable. So why are people arguing that people are going to sit from 8 o'clock in the morning, and teachers, depending on the timetable, if you don't have any lesson, you are not teaching from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So what are all these arguments coming? Where are these arguments coming from? I don't understand.
So you're saying no student will sit in a classroom for 8 hours?
Is it possible in a secondary school?
If they don't have a lesson, they are still in the classroom, right?
No, if you don't have a lesson, maybe you go and do your own private work in a library or so.
I see.
So where is this coming from?
Because these are complaints that you are actually going to overburden a student at the expense of a system like this.
Please, let us cut that out because, I mean, nobody preparing any curriculum or syllabus or timetable would do that.
I get you.
In the secondary school. Nobody would do that.
I get your point. Now, there's this other point too. The teachers we are looking at, have they been recruited?
Oh, we don't have a problem with that.
Have they been recruited?
Because out of the number that registered for the National Builder Score, 43,000 of them hold teacher certificate, graduates and diplomas. They hold teacher certificate.
They cannot teach at the senior high school?
No, we are doing interview. We are selecting based on the main subject area that we need.
I see.
So,
do they have experience for the classroom?
Well,
have you thought before?
No, but if
are they experienced teachers?
Assuming we recruit fresh graduates, do they have experience? But we assume that, or we know that they've been prepared well enough in their various institutions to start work. The new ones that are coming out will start work. So what is wrong with those who are holding certificates over the last 2 or 3 years? Why can't they start work?
Okay, let me be clear in my mind. You're saying that the second tier will be the ones that will be taught by the new teachers?
No. I said if you are a teacher on track 1, you remain on track 1.
But the teachers currently are all on track 1?
No. Yes.
The teachers who are existing today, they are all on track 1.
Please, we are going to divide the students who are coming in. First admission, second admission.
Yes.
Now, we are also going to look at the staff strength in the school. Some people will be in the department who have less periods to complete. So when we do this first and second track, and we ensure that every teacher has his full complement, which is the minimum of 24 periods a week. Those who don't have 24 will then join or will be there, and then we have to find new hands to make them the complement of teachers for track 2.
So not all the newly recruited teachers will teach in track 2?
It depends on the arrangement in the school.
In the school?
Yes. In the end, it is the head teacher, the headmaster or headmistress who is going to decide who goes, who teaches track 1, who teaches track 2.
I'll come back to this point, but I just
that is the management. That management is at the school level.
At what stage?
We will ensure that you have your full complement of teachers from the headquarters, but it is the responsibility of the headmaster or headmistress to decide who goes into track 1 or who goes into track 2.
When are the students going back to school? When are the, the double track system? We understand it's starting in September, right?
Sure.
Exactly which day will
exactly which day. In fact, I was just coming from that meeting.
Oh, you've decided? No,
we haven't. We are looking at...
We are racing against time. Oh.
No, we are not racing against time. As for a timetable, teachers go on holiday, they come and they need 1 week to sit down and do classification and timetabling. Please, that is the normal thing that we do.
We use
1 week to do classification, means who is going to teach which class, and then the timetable. That's all.
So my question is, so we don't know when we are going to start this.
We know when we are going to start.
When is this date?
We know we are going to start in September.
Yes, but which day in September?
That's what I said. Finally, we will get the date. Yeah. Because we are also thinking that because of the shortness of terms for especially the final year groups, we are thinking if they can go early, and that we think it is good, but we also need parents' consent. If people are going to go early, especially for the final year group, it will mean additional cost to parents. You see, these things you need to, I
get your point.
Yes.
My only difficulty is that, so have we decided on that matter, that final year students are going to go
we
early?
have a proposal. I wouldn't say a decision, because until we have consulted the parents, it will be unfair
and
to say that...
And consulting parents?
Yes. It will be unfair to say that children are going to school 2 weeks earlier, but that 2 weeks involve cost. All right? Involve cost.
So September
so
is when
you don't just put it there and think that
I get you. Yes. It's good. I'll talk about consultations, because some groups are still complaining. I'll come to that point. My question here is that in September, the final years will still go to school, right?
We think even they can go earlier than September.
As in August?
Yes. We are looking at that because, you see,
we have
that will give,
4 days to enter
that
the new
will
month.
give them more time to complete their syllabus. And we're also talking to WAEC. This year, we're able to get them to start the WAEC exams in April instead of February.
I see.
The exam is May, June. If we can
you want them to go in early, stay longer?
Stay longer so that they can complete the syllabus, and then there will be no issue of they don't have to, and that's why they are not doing well. We are doing everything to make sure that they complete their syllabus before they write the exam.
I want to get this clear.
Yeah, get it.
So when are we going to get a decision on whether or not final year students are going to school in August or September?
Look, I met the National Executive or the National Council of PTA only last Tuesday.
I see. They are in favor of it?
These are issues we are discussing. They also need to consult their members. So, as I said, we have put on the table a proposal which we think will help the children, but it involves cost.
Yeah, I agree.
So parents will need to agree that, oh, this is a good thing, therefore we will pay, because they are fee paying. The third years are fee paying.
Yeah.
So you don't sit in your office and say the children are going to school, they will have to pay 2 weeks more money than would have been covered in a term. So,
so it comes with extra cost?
Yes.
GS, have we decided the cost already?
Oh, but they know per day. I mean, it's calculated
so
per
it's
day.
just 2 weeks more?
Yes, calculated per day.
I see you want to extend it beyond the April part too.
Oh, that one too is being discussed.
So it's just
look, that one depends on whether WAEC will be able to do that, because we don't also want to put undue pressure on them, because writing the exam, finish early and bring the results, that kind of thing can create all sorts of problems. We want to know whether it is feasible.
It's because you know the kids are failing. That's why you're doing this.
Well, it's because we don't have enough teaching time for them.
Yes, final year they only do like a term.
For all these years, the teaching time is horrible.
1.5 terms for the final year. Yes, because no, I'm saying that.
Of course, I agree with you.
The second term, they write in February.
Yeah, they start in February with practice. The moment they start the practicals,
there's really no teaching time.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So we are doing this for the children and for parents.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we are doing this conversation with a man who's been in charge of the GS in times past. Now he's the big man at the GS. He is the council chair, the chairman of the council of the GS. He determines the policy even of the GS itself. And we'll be back. Oh, okay. He approves the policies of the GS itself. We'll be back after this break to continue our conversation and let you understand every single part of this and the problems that are coming up, his responses to them, and whether or not we can indeed do double track this year. It's one of the issues that we'll be dealing with after the break. Welcome back to our front. My name is Raymond Aqua. My guest today is the chairman of the Ghana Education Service Council. As he's told you before, he approves policy at the GS level. They are in charge of the senior high school education system in this country, and they're the ones implementing the double tracking SHS system, which is raising a lot of concerns from teachers through parents to even former educationists in the Republic of Ghana. Yes, you welcome Michael Insoa.
Let me just say this. We are a council responsible for pre-tertiary education.
Yes, so not only SHS, everything below tertiary education. That's interesting to know. Now, for example, former President John Dramani Mahama said there should be wider consultations. You may have difficulties if you don't consult wide enough with all the parties involved. Has this happened?
We have done a lot of consultations.
Exhaustive?
Because very exhaustive. I don't know of any key stakeholder in education that has not been consulted.
Oh, you know Professor Sichupe Anku. He's a mathematician.
You see, we don't consult individuals. We consult bodies.
Oh.
Otherwise,
you don't consult people of extraordinary competence. They belong to bodies. Areas.
Their views are taken on board by the bodies.
You consulted the Ghana Mathematical Society?
Certainly.
You did?
We consulted all the subject associations.
Really?
So for people to claim that as individuals they've not been, I mean, that is neither here nor there, because otherwise then we'll have to consult 25 million people in Ghana.
Oh, that's interesting to know. Yeah. When did this policy start? When did we conceive of this policy?
We conceived of this policy because at every point in time, the demands of the point where we are calls for redefinition of what has been in place. So when we started getting information we requested from vacancies from the system.
Okay.
Before the schools closed for especially when they were writing their final exams, before they started writing, we requested for the vacancies that will be available in every school. This is something we do every year.
I see.
So when the data was coming in, immediately we saw that we were going to have overpopulation.
That's a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, because that is the point that you get the information every year. That is used to.
It's out of the end of the last term of
that
the
is
academic
what
year.
we do every year, so that we will have a cutoff point.
I see.
Because this is the number of vacancies available, and therefore, if 400,000 write the exam and the vacancies available is 300, the last 300 on the score sheet will be the last person to be considered, admission to secondary school. This time, now we also realized, and that one we did it long before we launched the free SHS last year. We had all the statistics about the number of children who don't pass.
Yeah.
And the number of children who pass but don't get admission.
Yes.
And then the number of children who are given admission but don't report.
I see.
You see, then you saw that almost every year you are looking about 200,000 children that are thrown into the street.
Almost every year.
Almost every year. Because those who get admission and don't report are about 90 to 100,000.
I see.
So if you add that up to those who qualify but don't get admission, you are looking at about 200,000. So if over the last 10 years, we have actually neglected 200,000 per year, we're talking about 2 million children who have been denied opportunity to move on. So we said, and in fact, this was part of Nana's speech, that he's doing the free SHS because he's making it free because he was even looking at those who gain admission but don't report because of financial difficulties.
Yeah, yeah.
So he mentioned that,
Yes.
1 million.
Yeah.
We are adding those who qualify but don't come within, being considered for admission.
So the person gets all Fs and still qualify?
No. Those who qualify,
What is the qualifying cutoff?
You see, this has been also another issue that has become.
Yes.
A cutoff point depends on the available vacancies. But normally, we said your minimum grade should be 6 in each subject. If you multiply 6 by 6, it's 36. But some people, when...
so somebody with 36 can still go to school?
Yes, because you have 6
when there's available space.
If there's available
space. But how about somebody with all Fs?
Oh, that one.
That's impossible.
No, every year, about 10,000 fail. About 10%
yes.
fail because they don't have English, maths, or with the FF you're talking about.
Sorry, but if the person gets a DE or D, what do you call it, the E or F?
It's a fail.
It's a fail.
It doesn't qualify you to
go to
consider, to even to go to secondary school.
Oh, so it actually means that in this particular case,
you have the D, the 7, 8, and 9 is a fail.
Yes.
So 7, 8, no, your last level should be 6.
6
credit.
That means there's a cutoff, right?
Times 6 is 36.
Yes.
But when the headmasters were actually doing their own selection, some people will put their cutoff point at 12, 6, 8.
Yes, but if you have extraordinary students coming in, but if you have all students getting, let's say Prosec,
yes.
and all the students going to Prosec have 8 A's or 10 A's,
so
how do you prevent them from?
No. But then
that means that the 1,000 students are all going to be
fantastic.
Yes.
But Prosec has vacancy for only 500.
Yes.
So what do you do?
So you take the ones with the 8 A's.
Yes, and take the. What about the rest?
And leave them.
There may be about 800 with 8 A's.
Yes.
But Prosec can only take 500.
Yes. When it picks your first 8 A's, then the rest of them, we can push them to other schools.
You see, we're talking
their
about
second choice.
We are talking about passes.
Yeah.
Which is pegged at 6. So when we have 400,000 within the 36. Within the 36, but you have vacancies in the schools for only 200. Why do you reject all of them? The next 200.
So this is your justification for the double track?
No. You see,
because that one requires even a triple track in
education
this
is
case.
also solving a social issue. If you throw all those children into the street, within a few years, what do you think will happen to the society?
Social vices are on the increase. I get your point.
So you need to think about the future of these children. What can you do to keep them busy? And one area is in education, schooling. So the president, Nanado, in his campaign said, this is what I would do for all these teeming children who are hanging around at traffic lights. Explain
to me one thing, and it's something that's boggling my mind.
Yeah.
When I look at the projections that you've had and over the period, the total registered, for example, for 2016, 461,000 students registered for BCE.
Sure.
Then 420,000 was placed. Yeah. Then those who actually enrolled were 308,799.
Yeah.
But the number which actually was placed but did not enroll was 111,336.
Yeah.
This is a huge number.
Yeah.
But in 2017, 468,000 registered. 424,000 actually was placed. Then 361,000 was actually enrolled. Then the difference is that the number who were placed but did not enroll was 62,000.
Yes. So we still have a problem with why some children, despite
they have been placed, but they didn't enroll.
They didn't go.
Yes. No, that's what my difficulty is.
So,
and the finance is taken care of. So what else could it be a problem?
Exactly. This is what we need to do. And this is what we are doing. We are asking headmasters and schools to give us, if it is possible, because some of the children may have been placed in your school, but they were coming, or they are coming from outside. So we are also asking head teachers
to give up reasons why.
Who know the children that pass out at JHS state. What is it that these children are unable to, take advantage of? Some might be those children who are lucky enough their parents have placed them in schools outside the country. It's possible, but I'm not sure the number will be that big.
61,000.
Yeah, so we still need to do more work to find out why, despite this opportunity given to everybody, some children are still unable to. And we see, that's why I say education is also solving a social issue.
Yes.
And these are all things that we need to take into consideration when you are taking a decision.
Mr. Sowa, there's a problem also with this. I heard the president, the vice president, even just last week, the finance minister said that they put 90,000 more students into schools this year.
Yeah.
But the figure doesn't show 90,000.
Oh, the figure, you see...
the differences given here doesn't corroborate 90,000.
No, they are using the figures that were put into school. Yes. But those who reported, we have put more. But those who, that's why I said, this is the kind of study that we need to do. We have put more people. Still, 60.
I get your point.
And I said,
but I see the difference here to be around the 62,000 in this case. Yeah. Because if you compare to the previous year,
it was, so it's coming down.
Then 361.
You're talking about 111 children.
Yes.
Now it's coming down. That's why I said there's need to do more study as to why opportunities offered. I said there will be a small percentage of children who might not or who might go outside to study, but the 62 is still for me a very big figure.
I get you.
If we want to get universal secondary education, that is still a very big figure.
The figure I'm querying is the claim that we put 90,000 more people in school compared to 2016. It doesn't look like 90,000 more people. Because if the number enrolled were 308,000.
No.
Yes.
What you are seeing is the actual number of who put. As for putting them, yes, we put them, but the actual who took advantage of that opportunity is different matter.
So
that's what we are discussing.
So you are saying the number of people who enrolled is different from the number of people who put in the schools?
Yeah. Is
that a placement?
We give pre-sec 600.
Yeah.
In the end, only 500 report. So 100 are missing. Why are they missing? That is what we need to ask. Why are they? Because everything is free. So why are they missing? That is the point that we need to. So by putting all of them together, that is why you can. Oh, after giving 424,000 places to people, only 600. But meanwhile, everything is free, unlike the previous year where parents were paying, and therefore you can say that it is because of financial difficulties. Now, we cannot give any reason until we've completed our study about why some children are still not taking advantage of this big opportunity for them to access secondary education.
There is always a dispute, too, about what you call in fact, Earlier this morning, we spoke to the registrar of the Statmore School in Kenya, Stephen Karanga.
Yeah.
He says their kind of double track is not the same as we are implementing here. So we cannot make a claim that
their kind,
yes,
the kind we are practicing is not the same in US, it's not the same in Germany, it's not the same in Australia. So, you know, based on the countries
that they're not even doing double track. What they are saying they are doing is not double track.
What are they doing?
What they are saying they are doing is that students actually, of course, I mean, we are having a year-round education for people.
Yeah.
But there's no two-tier grouping which go to school at the same time or in between the other students' time.
What are they doing?
What they're doing now is to give people choices so you can choose to do this course or that course. And that's different from what we are doing now.
Okay, so they are not targeting or they are not aiming to put everybody in secondary school.
No.
So then that's quite different from what we are doing.
But we give it as an example.
We are saying we want to provide universal secondary education to every child in this country.
I see.
That is our aim. To give every child. No child will terminate the basic education at a JHS level. We think we should move up. And this is also strengthened by the SDG goals.
I get your point. But why then did we have to cite a country that's not doing what we want to do as an example?
You see,
to gain credibility for the policy.
We are not using that example to gain credibility.
Oh, but that's what you're saying. It's happening elsewhere. It's flourishing elsewhere. So we can do it.
They have actually, made adjustments in their school system. We are also making adjustments. Our philosophy is different from theirs. Our philosophy is to ensure that every child in Ghana gets a secondary education.
I get your point.
I'm not sure that is what they are doing, but they have made changes into their school system.
A former education minister, Kojo is asking for a thorough review, a proper appreciation of what we want to do so we don't damage the quality at the senior high school level, especially for the elite schools.
Why are we always citing elite schools?
Why not? Because they are the standards.
Why are they elite? Because, like you said, if everybody gets 8 ones and goes to that school, it's something like already made goose. No effort, because they know how to read. But if you have people coming in with 36, 27, and therefore these are the people who need, if you can help them to come up to a certain level, it means you are adding value to these people.
And I can give you... But in the thoughts of doing so, you cannot bring down the quality of the already existing
Look,
schools.
I can give you a typical... I picked a boy from Mamponting who got 27 and was staying with an aunt as a store boy. And this boy kept bothering this aunt that, Auntie, I want to go to school, I want to go to school. I managed to get a school in Accra. Let me be specific. This school near the Catholic Church. No. The Catholic Church near here, just close by.
I'm confused.
Holy Spirit.
Okay, yes, I get it.
The school that was close. No, the school that was almost sharing walls with. That has been moved.
Accra High.
No.
Odogono. Chemu. Oh, no, what am I
The
doing?
school by anyway, the boy was I managed to get the headmistress to enroll this boy, and after a while, the headmistress was complaining bitterly that aggregate 27 is going to,
derail the standards,
weaken the results and so on. Then I said, Madam, I'm also under pressure from family members. If you can help, if you allow this boy to go through for 1 year and it's still aggregate 27, please, you can withdraw this boy. At the end of the year, the boy was first and continued to be first and became the school prefect.
Really?
Became the school prefect, went to Legon and was one of the best students in mathematics and economics.
Okay, so this is just a drop in the ocean. It doesn't reflect the standards.
Some a teacher there added value to this boy. Why can't we add value and think that we should always be giving already made goods?
So you're saying that this education system that you're introducing will not draw back the clock of progress in
every
the country's
teacher
education system?
Then, of course, we should blame our teachers, because every teacher is holding a certificate, a graduate teacher. Secondary school, everybody holds a graduate certificate.
But it all depends on the
so
fundamentals of the student too.
if they are not adding value, then we have a problem in the whole system, and not because by this system we are going to devalue the the standards in the country.
By our standards, I'm sure you are a serious educationist.
And I'll be a teacher. I have not said what he's saying. Now. What I'm saying is that
he's saying that the system is going to go down.
I believe that if teachers, if we have teachers, when we talk of quality, the first thing we look at is, do we have trained teachers? Because we assume once they've gone through the system of training properly, they are good teachers. Two, you need logistics. You need logistics. The material that the teachers will use to teach. If these are available, those of us who started school in the villages many years ago, when you talk of school and the trees, sometimes some of us laugh. Now, who were being taught by radio, rediffusion box, in the village, by a teacher in Accra.
It can't be the same.
That was the technology available to Ghana or Gold Coast.
Okay.
The technology available to Gold Coast was that rediffusion box, which taught us how to speak good English.
It's all set for the implementation of this policy.
Yeah.
All is set.
All is set.
You've not recruited teachers yet.
Oh, that is. I mean, we've done the interview.
When will the teachers be ready?
We have done the interview.
When will they be ready?
The selection and the...
Do the teachers know the schools they are going to?
Right now, every school has been given that tablet, which is linked to the office. Give us the needs, specifically maths, English, what.
But I can't do needs assessment with barely a month to the time.
Oh, we can't.
That's the fear of the
Why
people.
Can't we do that?
Because it's too close. I mean,
it is never too close.
The risk of failing is very high in this case.
It is not true. I told you earlier on that whenever schools start at the beginning of the year, we have only 1 week to do a classification, and in the same way do a timetable, and then once they have been given that, then they do their weekly forecast a week before school actually goes into session.
Okay.
So why do you think that it is too close? It is never too close.
When will the teachers go to the schools?
When
will the teachers go to the schools?
Which teachers?
The teachers are recruiting new ones.
Oh, as soon as the dates are
You don't have
announced.
A date for it?
We have.
We don't have a date for when the students will go to school. We don't have a date for when the final year students will go to school.
We don't have a date for when the teachers are going to school. Oh, you are going to... Please.
Because we need to be clear in our mind that this is on the ground footing. I have
told you that we want to start with the final year students.
But you've not even reached consensus on that yet.
We have.
Just that no.
No, we said it involves cost, and parents need to agree. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they will go to school the normal, provisionally, the second Tuesday in September, which is 9th, has been slated. That is, but it could be earlier. That's what we are discussing. It could be earlier. So what we have now is provisional.
Where is the money for the implementation of all of this going to come from?
Oh, the money, as for that, I mean, it's part of their budget. But the Ministry of Finance takes care of it. So as for that,
but we
have been assured, that money is for a certain number of children.
180,000.
No, 180,000. 479,000.
The entire, that's 1.13 billion.
Yeah.
Yes, I get you.
So that is the money. As to how we are...
There's an additional 180,000 that you actually, you've not told us where the money is.
No. It is a gap, not additional. Look.
I get you.
We said, no, it says that we are hoping to, number to be enrolled, 472,000. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yeah.
Now, and we are saying spaces available is 290,000, leaving a gap of 185,000. So that is what we are envisaging, that look, instead of, we cannot push all 472,000 into the system, because then there will be chaos, because there's not enough space. So we will divide them into two, do this double track system. That is all. So the budget has been made to take care of all this, but we can't push them into the system at a go. So what we are going to do is to do this double track system. And you see, and it is nothing new. In Ghana, in 1987-89, we were going to do the same for our universities because a famous, professor saw that many children were denied university education because of lack of space.
I get you.
So he introduced what is popularly, or what was popularly known as double intake.
I get you.
That is what he called it, Professor Okonjo. In Ghana,
those who are
not
that,
anywhere, in Ghana.
Those who are saying that quality will be affected.
Oh, as for that, I mean, I've just explained. How can you say that?
I mean, these are not men of straw. These are men of competence.
No, it was because the number of days to complete, or the number of months to complete the syllabus was far lower than the actual, number needed to complete it. The course is slated for 3 years. Now, as you said, 2.5 years, 2.25 years, they have to write the exam. So they have lost, 3/4.
I get you.
So that becomes difficult. So no wonder the children and the teachers struggle because they don't have enough time to complete the syllabus.
I think we should continue this conversation again. And
why not? Anytime.
Yes, you surely should be able to do so. My guest today on Upfront is Michael Insua. He's the chairman of the Ghana Education Service Council. Those who are approving this policy, those who are giving direction on the way to go about it. Well, we sure should be able to do more of this some other time. But for now, thanks for joining us on today's edition of Upfront. My name is Raymond Dalqua.